So you have to write an essay for your English class, or maybe there is a writing task that you must fulfill for an academic purpose. It is customary to be given an essay prompt or topic area and maybe some guidelines on which you must write. But now that you're at university, you're being asked to write an essay or an article on a topic of your choice. So now you're asking yourself, what am I going to write? In this presentation, we will explore how to choose and focus a topic or how we can come up with ideas about what to write. Specifically, we will look at how to brainstorm for topics, how you can select a topic, how to focus your topic, and then briefly, we will look at the thesis idea. The idea of selecting your own topic may or may not be welcomed, since you may have become accustomed and comfortable with the teacher selecting the topic. So you may be stuck thinking about, what should I really write? But on the other hand, you can become excited that you have the option of selecting your own topic. So let's see how this works. Apart from the usual convention of writing on a topic selected by your tutors, you may use the following criteria to identify a topic that is of interest to you and worthy of being addressed. You may begin by brainstorming and then writing. And even as you view this presentation, you may brainstorm and write your ideas for topics in which you wish to write. Consider, what are the phenomena or topics that interest you. Identify a social-cultural, political, economic, environmental, or scientific problem worldwide that piques your interest. At this particular time in the world, we have quite a lot going on and there are many more ideas for writing. What about economic crises that we face? Or rise in unemployment and existential threats that businesses and organizations now face? Is there a social or political problem or phenomenon that you wish to address? Are there ideas or issues that arise that you have read about elsewhere and wish to compare? Are there events, activities, or actions of individuals or groups in your community or country on which you wish to share your views or comments? Is any organization in your community demonstrating exceptional humanity in situations of crisis? Is there a crisis that you have some insight on and wish to discuss or identify solutions? And is there a topic or area you want to know more about? What about health, the arts, literature, humanities, science? Do you have any ideas on topics in these areas that you may wish to write? What about educational issues? Are you experiencing any you may wish to address or explore? Now, once you've engaged in this activity thoughtfully or meaningfully and carefully, you now have a list of topics from which you may select a topic to write an essay or an article. Now, let us look at criteria for selecting a topic. Personal interest is perhaps the single most important criteria for selecting a topic. It is much easier to write about your own ideas and interests and things you are likely to be more inclined to find out about or find creative and moving ways of articulating. Also consider, what will really be worth writing about? Will it achieve its purpose? And Can you sufficiently explain and articulate it using available information, knowledge, or support, whether it is illustrations, examples, facts, or citing authority? And has this topic been addressed before? You should identify topics on which there is not much writing done and share insight or ideas. For example, students tend to select topics that are often overused or where there is already a lot of information or ideas, and often the ideas are merely presented from the surface level, like just simply looking at causes or effects, or social or economic and emotional aspects of a few selected social issues like drug abuse or abortions or teenage pregnancies and so on. And so this is why brainstorming, free writing, and critical reading and thinking processes are important. They can cause you to be more informed about the trends, issues, and information available, and you are likely to think more critically on what you wish to write. Yay! Imagine you have now selected a topic. And now that you have done this, you may realize that it is a broad area and you may still not know what to write about or what aspect of the topic to address. So, how do you focus or narrow this topic? So here are some ways that you can focus your topic. You can look at more specific or smaller aspects of the topic. Next, what are some problems encountered or overcome in this area? Then you may consider covert or overt motives. Or what are the effects or benefits? And this is very important. Ask the 5 W's and how. For example, what is the issue or what is the organization or phenomenon or process that you are addressing? And who is the person or who are the people involved? Are we talking about primary schools children, grade 6? Or are we talking about politicians, citizens, teachers, patients, a country? Where? Is it in Essequibo? In Atlanta? In the ocean? Internationally? In Georgetown? At UG? In secondary schools? In secondary schools in Linden? Where? And then when? What is the period? The time period? Is it 2020? Well, 2020 has been eventful, so yes, maybe 2020. Are we talking about a decade? Last month? Today? Why? What is your opinion, your personal explanation, or what do others or experts say and why? And how? How does something work? How will you do what you are suggesting? And finally, after you have thoroughly brainstormed and spent time thinking through what you really wish to write your topic as a question. Doing this is for your benefit. It is not for you to write this question in your essay. It is your answer, a comprehensive, multidimensional, thorough answer to this question that will help you to come up with a final statement about what you want to write. This statement may very well be a thesis statement, and we will discuss the thesis statement in another lesson. Now, let's break down this criteria a little further. We said that we must look at smaller aspects of the subject or topic. So, let's say we have the topic COVID-19. We can talk about the impact of COVID-19 in 100 ways. For example, in health, education, family life, mental health consequences, and I'm sure that perhaps another year or two from now, we may hear of other surprising effects or benefits of our experiences with this virus. Notably, there are mixed impacts. The effects may be both positive and negative. And certainly you may wish to address positive impact or see the brighter side of the pandemic. We may also look at how the pandemic has highlighted or further exposed social and economic inequity, such as issues of access to various services. Or we may want to break down particular economic crises or the issues of unemployment as a result of COVID-19. Or how about how we can adapt digital technologies for digital transformation in education or various aspects of education, say higher education. The possibilities seem endless. How about this next topic, mental health? Now, it is easy to identify surface level ideas like, what is mental health? But this does not really tell us much about what you see, or show your ability to critically assess the subject area or information in this regard. So, how about looking at the view that it is an under-researched area? Or issues of stigmatization? Or how about showing how the fact that it is socially acceptable or unacceptable to discuss openly affects how people view the topic? Or how about looking at mental health issues and their connection with social problems in our society? Do you think it may cause issues like suicide and domestic abuse or drug abuse, etc.? And let us look at this topic, abortion, a broad topic. This is indeed a common topic, and often what is presented can seem mundane and over-addressed. You are expected to think beyond the mundane, beyond what is already written and read over and over again. What new ideas do you have about the topic apart from causes or effects, or political or religious arguments against it? So let us look at some ideas. For example, what are some consequences of restrictions on abortions? Or you may look at the fact that abortion is often recommended for health reasons. What about abortion as a strategy for gender selection in India? Ask yourself, why is it or is it not okay? And consider human rights and gender-based discrimination and domination. So you see, writing is by far more complex and important than simply defining a topic or simply presenting facts. In higher education, you are expected to think beyond the surface level. So we said that another criteria is to identify a problem with regards to the topic. And so generally speaking, when we write an essay or an article, we are addressing what we technically call a problem. Or we may wish to say we are discussing an idea or a phenomenon. Often, it is an issue or crisis in which we see various perspectives or on which we have opinions or where we see it can be fixed. For example, when we talk about COVID-19, Our problem may be the economic or social inequity we see on display. So the problem may also be that a country or a government is not managing it well. And as a result, there are rising cases and deaths and stress on the economic health of the country, a stress on the economy. Or how about how we can adapt educational technologies for COVID-19, because there is an issue of access to education as a result of the pandemic. Now let us look at this other topic area, education, this broad, very broad topic area. What are some problems that we can discuss in this area? We may look at whether or not teacher education in Guyana is efficient, or we may want to look at the necessity of a certain kind of education or a certain level of education. Or we may think that we may want to say, okay, that tertiary education is needed to function efficiently as a teacher or as a leader. Or on the other hand, we may say that being educated is not a means of becoming wealthy or wise, or it's not an indication of high social status. We said that asking questions for ourselves, and specifically asking the 5 W's and how, can help us to focus our topic. So let us examine how this may help us. Let's say we have the broad topic, oil and gas. We may ask the 5 W's and how, or at least some of these W's, to try to focus our topic. So we may ask, who are the people involved, affected, or helped? Or who is responsible? So that answer may be the government, which government by the way, and or the citizens of where, which country, Guyana perhaps, or we can be talking about the oil companies. Now, the idea is that you identify what you're talking about. You may be able to identify more than one of these, or more than one option. And then you may ask, what? What about oil and gas? Is it that you want to just talk about the sector generally, or jobs in oil and gas, or exploration, or its management, or wealth that comes from oil and gas? Again, you will have to decide which of these you wish to address. Then you may ask, in what location or where? Guyana perhaps? And when? Are we speaking about specific period or year, 2015, 2019, 2020, or within the last 5 years, within the last decade? Why? And this question is specifically asked when you have an idea that is already there, or you have articulated some point or argument that you wish to explore, and so you may ask the question why. So what is the reason for this idea? What is the reason for this statement or your opinion? And all of this helps you to draft or articulate the idea that you may have. And so you may come up with something like this. Guyana is fully equipped with the tools, infrastructure, expertise, and leadership or leaders that can effectively manage its newfound oil and gas wealth. Or you could say Guyana is not fully prepared or equipped, and so on. Now, a statement like this may not be perfect and it may need some work. However, it's a start, it's a draft. Also, this statement lends itself to argumentation. And so it depends on what you wish to write in terms of what strategies you intend to use, or also your idea may help you to choose the strategies that you wish to write. And so in a later session, we may discuss strategies that suit specific ideas that you may have expressed. Please remember that the purpose of questioning yourself is to help you to draft or articulate ideas that you wish to write. And so at this stage, you do not need a perfect sentence. It is simply a draft. And the idea is to move the process along and to begin to write. And so you may also come up with ideas like this on the topic oil and gas. So this one says, since oil spills can easily occur, the government of Guyana should examine its readiness and prepare a contingency plan in event of such occurrences. Now, if you look at it, you'll see that some of the questions that you may have asked may help you to identify what specifically you want to say. So, since oil spills can easily occur, this is why, or part of the why. And then who? We're talking about the government of Guyana. And you may possibly say oil companies as well as part of who, and should examine its readiness. We're talking about the what. This is what we want to talk about, whether or not the country, the government, the companies are ready for events such as unfortunate events such as oil spills, and what they can do, or how they can be ready or prepare themselves, is to have a contingency plan, and why in event that an oil spill may occur, right? And so you see the effect of questioning here. Now you may continue to question yourself and the process to ensure you fully and accurately articulate exactly what you wish to write. So here are some other questions. How will oil wealth be managed? Who is responsible for managing this resource? Is the system of management of oil and gas transparent? What information is available to the public? How can we hold those responsible accountable? And of course, this list of questions is not exhaustive, and you may come up with other questions that may help you to identify your specific focus. And part of this question also, as you have noticed, will help you to come up with a thesis idea. And so in our next lesson, we will talk about, or more in depth about, the thesis idea. And finally, this is an activity in which you may engage. So you can brainstorm for topics in which you are interested, then jot down specific aspects of each topic as we have been doing. Jot down relevant areas you can discuss, or that you wish to discuss, or that you're interested in. Then try to articulate or build a thesis idea. And what may be the best kinds of research and supporting information that you need? And this is related to number 6. What strategies can you use to develop the paper?